Today we talk about some real case studies for business analytics usage. This is the last introduction section video, and after this one we will talk about statistics in business analytics, and then we will have an exercise. And another thing that I'd like to talk about and share with you is about my presentation. We have to talk on the screen, and I felt it could be a little boring for some of you. I wanted to ask you to share with me your comments if you have any suggestion for me, because I don't like my lesson make you bored. Anyway, I do my best to make my audience satisfied. And don't forget, you can help me with your comment. Okay, let's start the lesson. Let's get into some real stories. The famous case study, which is often called analytics, is the viewer and diaper case study. So, it's funny case study, but in fact it's reality. Walmart is one of the famous companies as a retail chain in the United States. In fact, it's one of the biggest retail chains in the world. It has close to 9,000 retail stores in US and the other countries. So, Walmart, since it's retail company, retail store, they wanted to understand what customers buy together often. For example, buying apples and um, orange together. Do they buy milk and milk powder together? What does their basket contain more often? So they wanted to understand this one. When Walmart has looked into their data, what they found is diapers and buyers were brought often together. And so obviously they have also seen diapers and milk powder being sold together, which makes obvious sense. But uh, you know, diapers and beer being sold more often together was a revelation to them that, in fact, in relation to all of that. So they wanted to understand why exactly that was, with a bit further analysis. They figure out that it's mostly the United States working population, since the weekends are being the Saturday and Sunday when they are buying things on a Friday evening. By the diapers and the beer so that were used by kids and babies for the relaxation. So during the weekend, it was a revelation what they did. What do you think Walmart has done using this data? What they simply have done is have kept viewers aside from the diapers in the product or in the store, and one side was the milk powder, so that had increased their sales significantly on both the diapers and so. Um, Assemble this data finding significant revenue growth of significant customers loyalty for Walmart, and that's how this changed their product layout in their shop. So this is real case study which was discovered using analytics techniques. Now let's follow a case study. You need to solve a lot of case study. You need to solve assignments to get a feel of the numbers and be comfortable with the number. So let's start. As I was telling, the best way of analytics, of learning analytics, is to experience. Let's take a step-by-step process of how analytics is set up in the new business. For example, you start a video rental shop. The video rental shop is the one of where you rent the CDs or DVDs of the movie. So after setting up after 2 months, you realize that there is no uh, competition in the market, and you need to increase the revenue by building a customer centric strategy. You need to understand first the customer behavior and the basic information that is required in the data. This is the foundation for analytics. So even in this case study where you have set up a video shop and you want to increase the revenue, to increase revenues, you need to understand customer behavior. And for that, you need to have the customer data. So the first step in analytics is collecting relevant data for the coffee shop and the rental shop. Broadly, we can think of three data sets. One is transaction table, the second is product table, and third is customer table. The table can also be referred to as another data center. So the transaction table is like for each transaction. For example, if a customer comes and takes one movie before that is called one transaction. So it can have a transaction that is unique for each transaction the customer is doing. The second one is the customer customer ID, which identifies the customer. And the third one is what is an interview on the card the customer is taking. What is the issue data? Which is the date on which the customer is taking the CD and receive it when the customer is returning the CD and movie ID is of the which movie the customer is taking action. Now, in the product table talks about the movie. So it starts with what is the movie ID, and secondly, what is the uh, origination, what is the origination or year or the month of the movie. So it's a movie released exactly. And then what is the language of the movie in a Telugu English in the what is the genre of the movie? Is it romantic? Is it fiction? Um, is it an action thriller? And so into four-star cast or the prime lead roles. Who was the hero? Who was the queen? And so on. The movie name. You can think of then you have something on the customer table. So customer table has information about the customer demographic information. So what is the unique idea of the customer? What is the age of the customer? What is gender? Which area does the customer decide? What package is the customer's, the gold or silver package? And what is the enrollment date? When did you first enroll? And you can also have other things like what is the name of the customer? What is the mobile number of the customer and so on. These are three data sets that if you have a video rental shop are the broadly three data sets that will be sufficient to conduct analysis for you. So now let's look closely into the relationship between these people. Now, what are the variable which is common in the transaction table and product table? It's the movie. Any transaction table identifies which movie it's. Then you can use these two data sets to identify what is a movie name, is the genre of the movie, when did it release, and what is the language now. What is the relationship between transaction and customer level? More information about the customer like age and when they decide, what is the mobile number and so on. So this is the relationship between all these three tables. These are the round table, which again you can do some summarization tables. But the transaction table is for each transaction you have an entry in the day. there can be any customers coming and taking in a Monday, could be almost like 300 or 500 customers coming and taking this. This is a transaction file. You can summarize it on a monthly level. How many CDs have entered? You know, how many customers have taken, and so those are your table, which come in hands for your quick analysis. Now let's look into the data. How exactly does the data look? So as we discussed, the transaction table has transaction ID. As an example, 3423 is one transaction, and customer ID will be ID1 is a data should the same data and customer IDs like the customer who is taking the movie is referred to. For for the customer. The movie which he's taking has 03 and he has taken it on 13 and he has returned it back on a full demand of the NTSP. So this is your transaction. Similar to the same guy, 3 or 324 3244 have taken another movie on the some dates. The movie name is like 3424. The movie is 3424 again on technology that they don't unfortified and so on. So these are your transactions with no productivity right now. Um, Taking the first route, this headache 3323. You don't know what is this movie, so you have to merge it with this product. If you see below H3, H3323 movies, it's a three uh, idiot movie, which is a Spanish comedy movie, and it was released in 20, 2013 December, and it's comedy movie and the star is American. So what is the 3424 movie? What was the relationship between these two tables? The transaction table just has a transaction information, one record for each transaction, whereas the product table summarizes the movie related information. What is a movie ID if you have the movie? And who is the star cast? What is the genre of the movie? And so forth. Now let's see the customer ID. From here you don't know what this customer is. 3424 doesn't make any sense. So you need to also have a customer information. So you need the customer information. This is a customer table that is 3232 means the name of the customer is about his age is 20, he's a male in a particular area. The package that he has enrolled with the video rental shop is called and the enrollment date. And similarly, you have the set of all customers with you. What is their age? What is the agenda to this day? What is the package? So that that is the customer table. Broadly, these are the three tables that are required for you to conduct any analysis as the owner of a video rental shop. After collecting the data, um, which is step one, the next step is drawing insight. If you are the owner of a coffee shop, what do you think is the first step you will be doing? The first step, of course, is to see what is the revenue that you mean. Um, what is the cost you are incurred and what is the net profit that you bought. Very basic. Anybody who is running the company needs to understand these two basic things. With the data that you have using the intersection data, you can get this information. And so, as I said, the basic thing you would be doing is conducting a basic profit and loss check to assess the health of your business. So your basic transaction data will in tell you this information. In towns that have both in your store, the total number of customers with you on the top one is like 300, and the city is rendered at 450 cities that have rendered, and the total revenue generated is 66750, and cost the fixed cost is huge for 30,000. The fixed cost is more for your giving advance to the store, clearing the furniture in the store, for which you need to make some fixed investment at the beginning, for which you look to your um, inquired 30,000, and the CDs cost about 1,000 CDs. Let's say the cost of these cities is 2,000. So the net profit that you made is negative 6750 minus the cost, which includes 30,000 plus 2,000, 32,000. So you are at a loss. So the net profit is negative, which is negative 25,000. Now it's been just 2 months in your business, and you know that okay, within 2 months business may not bring you in, because how almost 30,000 in giving the advance to the store, as well as making the furniture in the store. Now it's currently after 2 months, you realize that okay, I'm still making loss, but the key question here is how to make profits, right? So from here, it's very clear the way the biggest cost is a fixed cost. You can't do anything on the costs that have already been incurred, so you have to increase your revenue. This should be the first and foremost important step, because your revenue are only 6750. So your revenue should grow more than 30,000 to at least break even. Um, so the first focus that you will be keeping on is on identifying the revenue opportunities. So to identify the revenue opportunity, the basic thing, what will you do if you are the owner of the CD shop? You will see which are the CDs which are most often taken by the customer, which are more popular. So the more the popularity, more the CDs are into, more when you make. So the basic thing you will take is okay, all of the CDs that I have and which are being rented mostly, which are more popular series. So simply check will reveal you which movie are popular from the data that you have. Let's say we have a two series of movie. One of them is English language and other is Spanish. Each group divided into four genre. The townspeople who are your customer, they request more for two types of these collection. So now you identify the way to increase your revenue, right? But you're not making enough revenues. You know the popularity of the movies. What action or strategy do you think you should take to improve the profit? I was telling it, it can be classified into improving revenue or reduce cost. You being the owner of the company, what do you think can improve the revenue? Awful video didn't into the show, and we found the more popular videos. So you have to buy more and more of those clips and keep stock. With your second one, is you can run targeted campaign based. So what I mean, that for example, there is a customer who has taken more often English action movies. As soon as you know, as soon as you get a new English movie, as soon as you get a new English movie into your shop, just send them SMS to him saying that, sir or madam, we have a new English movie on our store. In our store, please come and take it so you can run this campaign for this customer. So let's say you have another set of customers who are more um, authentic Spanish romantic, so you can send only a message to this customer saying that. So we have a new Spanish romantic movie in the store. Please come and visit the store and take it rental. And the next one could be providing discount on multiple rental to increase the revenue. For example, if a customer is coming to your shop, you can give him some kind of offer saying that if you take um, book card, you get 10% discount or 20% discount. So there will be increased customers taking more and more your CD. So you have to provide discounts on multiple vendors. Again, discounts should not be um, very steps so that you lose money. The discount should be decided in the right way. You can give a 80% discount rate. So the discount should be somewhere in the range of 10 to 20%, which makes a new sense for you and new. And the uh, fourth point is building loyalty through a point and fees. And so these days, there are a lot of points accrual, and so you can also build some kind of a point in freebies. Kind of the example could be that if you take 5 CDs, the sixth is free. So something of those, you know, um, chain that you can deploy so that customers become loyal to you. They come to you. So customers loyalty is key. So you have to design all these kinds of point and freebies to attract the customers or ensure your existing customers are staying with you. So finally, other thing could be like launching value added services like free home delivery, free pickup. So all these are value added services. You can employ one boy who can go around the locality and give delivery of the CD and pick up the CD once the customers have watched the movie. So the value added services giving the customers to so the value added services giving to the customers so they become more loyal to you than other stores. Finally, you can also tie with the housing societies. So let's say you have a tie with a apartment association saying that people coming from this apartment will have a percent discount at my store. In that way, you can have banners in the apartment. You can go um, pamphlets in the apartment saying that okay, if you are from so and so apartment, um, you have a pricing discount on this door. You can dive with the housing societies to gain more revenue. Finally, is explained not just with the movies. It's you can get play cars, you can get children rhymes, and so and you can expand the product to so broadly. These are the things that you can take to improve the revenue of your rental shop. Now let's move on to reducing cost. As we have seen in the science fiction movies, nobody is seeing that. So, so what you can do is whatever you how you sell it, you sell less popular movies to other windows. And about video series that don't have good market. Nobody is seeing these movies. You better sell it off what existing stock you have to some other vendors in a different locality. Probably people of that locality may be using it. Secondly, you fork a partnership with other vendors to support rather than buying the CD. Instead of buying a CD always costlier than spending it like to spend some time with other vendors to subscribe. Some of the CDs so that you cut your cost of buying the CD and the other one is spent optimally on the marketing or getting the same example of housing society. Let's say you tied up with the housing society so to communicate the message to almost 1,000 apartment in that housing society. uh, One way is that you can send advertising to all the house housing house. That is one way, or the other way is that you keep the banner in a place in park of an apartment or at the entrance of an apartment. There are two ways of communicating the message to the customers. No, obviously, when you send advertising to all these 1,000 customers, it will be too cost. You need for printing of 1,000 pamphlet. You need one or two people to pass on these pamphlets to so many apartment, and so it costs layer. The better way is that you keep a big banner at the beginning of the apartment, at the gate of the apartment, and you keep on the changing the position of the same banner so that maybe much less costly to um, so we have to spend optimally on the marketing. And other one is that in order to reduce the cost, you are seeing in this example $30,000 was spent on setting up the store for being rental and keeping the furnishing in the store. Uh, is it does it make sense to start an online shop after 2 years down the line? Uh, you may close down now the physical store and just work online. And you can also think on um, option you can build a building website is doing it's very simple. So you can build a website on your own and request the customers to visit the website place their orders on the website. So these are all the things that you can take to reduce the cost. So to summarize, there are various strategies that you can take if you are the owner of a TV rental shop to improve revenue and reduce cost. Now that uh, we have done the case study, I'm sure it has given you a good understanding of the various dimensions or the burden of thinking that an analysis or a person who is interested in business analytics should have it. So you should think of all angles when you are analyzing a situation. In this case, you are to think uh, holistically. What are the revenue opportunities? Think as broad as you can think, and then decide on what are the strategies that makes more sense to you. Similarly, on reducing cost, think broadly. This is what we need to continue this topic with next video.